What's good? What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to and man, it's actually been a minute, and I want to say thank you guys for always still tapping in. You already know it. I'm a regular Joe that's out here trying to show you guys um how I learned the market, my techniques about the market, my ups and downs about the market. So first off, I want to tell you last week we did not have I'm gonna drop the past video that I did, but last week from the week of I want to say the 31st to uh the 4th, the week, yeah, that week from March 31st to April 4th. That week I did not trade. I wasn't able to get on to record because I was doing another project with PG Podcast, PG Styles. I was working on some things with the artistry. So um we're gonna go over the things that happened 2 weeks ago. And then I'm going to clear the market because it's a new month, and we're going to remark up the chart. And I'm going to go back through the previous videos because I probably said this in other videos to look at each month to see how many trades profit with this technique. That way you can keep it up. Also, I gotta connect everything together for my account so that we can continue to track things. But we're gonna move forward with this. All right. So we have Nas 100. Before let's go back because the notes are up here somewhere. Okay, here's the notes. So I'll tell you the notes that I got for that's written down, and I'll tell you the ones that I got for now. Um, so previously, price have broken the enclosed below the previous month low on all time frame. Price has broken below the previous week low on the daytime frame. So we was waiting for price to break the previous daily low or break the previous daily high. This is going to determine if we're going to buy or continue to. We're going to continue to buy and we're going to sell. We also price needed to break previous daily high, previous daily low in order to buy or sell. That's what I just said. And then price did not break trend line on the one, and this was probably to daily time frame. So this right here, I think last week I did a ideal trade. The week before we did like a ideal trade, but I did not take that trade. But I said I wanted to see what happens if I still put that trade in, and if people wanted to get in, then you get in. And as you see, uh, I wanted the price to come back down to retest this trend line, but price could have rejected this low right here and went back up to buy. So because the trend line was a solid trend line, it was a valid trend line, and it's been going consistently. I kind of banked on it was going to sell. So um, as you can see, when I marked this, we marked it here. This is my previous high. So, yeah. So we marked it off this candle, and this was February 3rd. And previous monthly open, previous monthly close, previous monthly high, previous monthly low. And then we wanted to see price if it traveled back down to this trend line. If not, if price did not break that previous monthly low, came back up to where the previous monthly close and the previous monthly opening was, and went up here to break the previous monthly high, then we'll be looking for a buy. But price broke below the previous monthly low, came to this valid trend line, and did what? It broke the trend line. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase the month. I'm going to erase the week, the day. I'm going to keep this trend line here, and we're going to remark this chart. All right. And we're going to, yeah, we're going to remark this chart. All right. So as you see, that trade did not take. So I'm gonna clear this trade off because I didn't necessarily take that trade, but I did want you to see what happens if you don't stay within your trading, or you don't stay within your plan, or you don't stay within your intuition. The trader go against you. So that would have been a trade loss. Um, so if you took that trade, that was a lesson. It wasn't just a loss. It was a lesson learned. Um, all right, boom. So and I'm going to boom, gonna keep that there. All right, so now we're moving into a new month. This is April. So we're going to work off the previous month and we're on the month time frame. So this candlestick started for April 1st was a very strong selling candlestick. We had selling pressure for uh March 3rd for that month. So all of March there was some selling pressure, but we were still inside of the buying because of the overall trend was a buy, right? And as you can see, we're on the month time frame. We have not broken below yet this pivot level, but we're close, right? I mean, if you go a little closer, you could be like, well, it's debatable, but we're in this month, so we don't really know what this is going to continue to do for the rest of this month, right? So we're going to work off the previous month's candlestick, and we're going to mark it up like we did before. And then moving forward, we're going to try to minimize this time as much as possible. But as we do the same thing we always do, we're going to use these rectangles. I'm going to use purple because I want you to be able to see my markings for this month. So not this candle, but last month's candle, because the month before that, which was um, February, we worked off of here. All of March, we worked off of here. So now for April, we're going to work off here. So for March, we worked off the previous candle. For April, we're going to mark off the previous candle. So this would be the previous candle. Jeez. Okay. Let's make this a little thicker, darker. All right. Boom. That helps. Boom. We're going to double it. So what we doing? We marking the previous candles, the opening and the closing, the highs and the lows. And if I go a little closer to this candle, you would see there actually is a high point, right? All right. Oh, my nose. All right. Mm-mm-mm. Now we're marking the high point. I'm going to keep it purple. And then we're going to mark the low point, which this wick is way down here. And boom. Again, now you have the opening, the closing for the month. We're remarking this because this month has changed. So this is the previous month high. We also type in the previous monthly close as we're selling, because that's a selling candle. This is the previous monthly open low and buy in it. I mean, this is the previous monthly open. I'm sorry, because we selling. You sell high and you buy low and you sell high. And then it's the previous monthly close down here. So when you're selling, it opens from the top and sell down. When you buy it opens from the bottom and buy up. So, and then we have the previous monthly low. Okay. All right. Now that we got that situated, we see that this for April, We have broken the previous monthly low, so we're looking for a nice little sale. Price has broken this major trend line that was valid on a higher time frame that's indicating a sale. Um, we want to look for entries for this, but we want to be able to drop down on the time frames and look, see what the weekly candle is like, and then the monthly previous candle is like. So let's go down to our week. And as you can see, it didn't quite break below all the way to the pivot point. It was slightly breaking below the pivot point on the month time frame here. You see it broke below right here. So it's slightly broken close below that pivot point. So it's still giving a nice little sell. But when you go to the week, price clearly broke below that pivot point and closed below it, right? Along with the previous monthly low. So this is a strong sell. So this is this week's candle. This says Monday, April 7th, which is today, well, April 8th. Um, today. Um, that's the candle we're working off of for this was Monday because we're going by the week. And this is the following Monday. So we're not going to work off the candlestick that we're in. We're going to work off the candlestick that we're previously was in. So let's mark it. Not yellow. Let's try blue. Actually, I'm going to go in a little bit. There you go. So I can see where I'm putting these markings at. And then we're going to duplicate this. And then we're going to mark the high. I want to make that thicker so you can see it thicker than a Snicker. Oh, well, it's already thick. So anyway. And then you're going to clone that, copy that, however you want to say it. And you're going to make that for the low for this week candle. All right. So now we got the previous open, the previous close, the previous weekly high, and the previous weekly low. So we're going to label it previous weekly high, previous weekly open, because we're selling. So we're going to open from the top. And then we're going to close at the bottom. So previous weekly close. And this is my technique. Everybody got different strategies. This is what works for me. So you don't have to do it. I'm just showing you what works for me. And it's the previous weekly low. Okay. Previous weekly low. All right. So price has broken below the previous monthly low. Price broke below previous monthly low. Price broke below this pivot point. Price is also broken and closed below the previous weekly low. So it's giving you a nice sell. We're only going to sell because we're on the day time frame, from the day time frame, because we're day traders, right? So I'm going to drop down to my day time frame, mark that one last marking, and then we're going to see if we can find a point to where we can get in for that sale. This is a nice sale. I'm not going to cap. If you've been watching this trade, you saw us buy. You saw us when we caught it turn. And now you see where I said it was going to sell. And it's doing exactly what I said it was going to do. And it falls nicely under this pivot point here. Prices below the previous monthly low. Prices, it broke a little. It broke below the previous weekly low. But then as you can see, it pulled back a little bit. So for this day time frame, we're going to mark the daily candlestick. This is today's candlestick. This is yesterday's candlestick. So we're going to go off of yesterday's candlestick. Um, since we on today candlestick, I'm going to get a little closer to the chart. This is the today. So let's see. Do this one. I don't think this has a week. I think it just opened. Yeah. So I'm gonna put. I want to make this an obvious color like yellow. Maybe green. Let's do green. Okay. There's no high on this. So it's only a previous daily open. There's no high point. All right. And then we're gonna duplicate this. And then we're gonna bring it to the close. So this is gonna be the close point. Ah, excuse me. Allergies is killing me. So that's gonna drag this down to our previous daily close, which is there. Boom. And then we're going to mark. Why is it like that? There we go. I wanted to, okay, there you go. I want to be able to see. All right. Now we're going to mark the previous daily low because there's no high. So previous daily low, the previous daily close, and that's the previous daily open. So now we got that all set up. We all know what's going on. Price has not broken below the previous daily low. Price has broken below the previous weekly low, and then price is dipped back up a little bit. It broke below the previous monthly low. So we are looking for a nice strong sell, no cap, but for the daily, it hasn't happened yet. So let me see if do I feel like selling selling pressure, yep. And we're below that pivot point. So hmm, do I what I want to sell? So price is not below the previous daily low yet. Let's do it. Let's see this. Okay, boom. I was still stuck up in there. So this was the daily look like. We're gonna drop down to the time frames. I don't know what I was doing. So we was here, as you can see on the candle. The price has not quite broken past the previous day low, but it pulled back a little bit. So you want to see if this actually pulled back or is price reversing. But we're still below this pivot level, but we're on the daily time frame. So let's drop back down. Let's go into the 4 hour. Look at that. Price pulled back. It's under the pivot point, but it's is now pushing back into the previous daily close. All right. And we're down to the previous daily low. Boom. So now we have the previous daily close. I feel like this was a retest. I feel like it was. Boom, boom. No, that's not quite how that one gonna go. From my weekly high to here. It's not a strong trend line though. So price break below the previous daily, then you can find an entry to get in. Because if price is in between the previous daily close, it can go up to this previous daily open and then start going in the opposite direction. But I want to see price come back down to the previous daily open to sell, and once it hit that candlestick, I'll be watching. If price come back down to the previous daily low and break the previous daily low, we're finding an entry to get in. So if price breaks below the previous daily low, we are looking for the sale. Price must come back down to the previous daily low. All right, because if you enter in the previous day low or somewhere in that candlestick, you can find a nice little candlestick. Entry. A nice little sell offs back here, and good 3 to 1. But if not, price can like trick you and go back up here to the previous day to open, and then shoot back down or bow back above this previous weekly close, and then trick you on this to continue to buy, right? But I think this is a nice start of a sale. Price is selling, but I think it's trying to trick everybody and stuff. That's me personally. Um, yeah, because you can easily put a sell eyes here and then sell down. But I wanna get in a little closer. So yeah, boom, 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 and this is nice. So I'm looking at something. Yeah, I'm squeezing at this point. Yeah, so this is what I'm gonna do. We're looking for price to break below the previous daily low. Um, here's the notes for this. Price has already below the previous monthly and previous weekly low. Price has also broken below pivot points on the daily, weekly, monthly time frame. So this is what we're going to expect. So a price break below previous low, then we're gonna look for a sell. Price break below the previous high. So price do this, boom. Then we're looking for something like that to continue to sell. But if price come back up here, boom, because they can do that, which is why we're not getting in. Boom, boom. It doesn't have a previous high. So once it break above that previous weekly close, then boom. But like I said, I think it's going to sell because we broke some major levels here. But to stay inside of my trading journal and what I say is true to my trading style, I'm going to wait for that to happen and then get into that sell just in case it decides to go back above the previous weekly close to try to retest this trend line or the previous weekly open, right? Because the previous daily doesn't have a high, but we have the previous weekly open and we have the previous weekly high. That is really close to where the pivot point is up here, and you can see it's right there under the previous monthly low. So if price goes back up to this, what am I thinking? Oh, price come back and do some crazy stuff like this. Then we're back into the previous monthly low. Come back and retest. We could be retesting this. Boom, fake me out and come back like that, right? But I need to see what price is going to do because price goes down, boom, and break it. I have opportunity to get in for the sell. Price pull back, we're selling. So that's the technique. That's what I'm waiting on. And yeah, so we're gonna move on to the next one. Um, that's my trade idea for now. I don't have a direct entry. I'm going to look at this on tomorrow to see. So like I said, I'll monitor it, and if I have, or by the end of the night, if I have something, I'll put it out there. But that's what I got right now. We'll keep looking at it. All right, let's go into. I don't want to do GBP JPY right now. I want to do gold, and then we'll go into those trades. So, um, I'll go in order. I put GBP right here. That's fine. Let's do GBP. Um, no, we're gonna do gold because I want to go into the news and do them back to back. So we're looking at gold now. I'm just gonna daytime frame. As you can see, gold broke above our previous monthly high. It was price broke above our previous monthly high. We're above the previous weekly open. This is previous monthly high. We're also above the previous weekly close. We're above the pivot points, and we saw price pull back in this area to the previous weekly close, and we found entry point to get in. So once price broke above right here, our previous daily high, we saw that it closed here. So we made a previous weekly high here. There was a previous weekly low. We got in at this point. Where did we get in at? Because we did this on. Okay. And you can go back to on the chart and you can see we saw this sell and then we ate off of this for a minute when price broke. All right. So previous daily open, previous daily close. Where's my daily? Um, trying to take you to the candle. All right, cool. So which candle was working off of? Previous daily close. Oh, this candle. All right. So we had the previous daily open here, the previous daily close right here, previous daily high, and the previous daily low. That was a low. So we have been eating off this candle for a minute. So we saw when price was selling, we ate off the sell, and then also when price was from the buy, right? It had broke this trend line. So when it broke the trend line, I hate that it does this. Right here, boom. I saw an opportunity for the upside because we're above the pivot point. Price broke this. So I expected for price to pull back. So I said, okay, price come back to this point where my previous, above my previous daily close, then I am going to get in on this candle here. That's what broke it. This solidified it. I'm going to get on this candle here and I'm going to buy. And I think it was at this point when I saw this candle. Yeah, previous daily high. Boom. So that was a squeeze. But it was a risk of a trade, but not really a risk. So we got that. But the technique that I'm teaching, and I usually go by, because I was on that one. So it had broke the previous high, and I got into the trade. Boom. So this was a good trade. And price broke the previous high here. We could have got in off this candle and traded that candle up following the next few days, as you can see. I mean, next few weeks, as you can see. I mean, the next few hours. This happened on a couple days. Yeah. So boom. Off this candle, I knew it was gonna break. I saw the break. Boom. Went to the upside. So we could have ate off of this candle. We also had opportunity off this candle, but that were price pulled back to retest this pivot level. But all in all, this was a good trade. So I'm going to mark it. And if you want me to explain it a little bit more, then you need to go um, to the channel, watch the previous markup, and then you'll understand. So for this, since we are above the previous monthly open, we're above the previous monthly close, we're above the previous monthly high. We know price is still within this buy. Um, our expectations for this trade for gold was price is not broken above the previous daily high to buy. If price break above the previous daily low, then sell. Wait for the next movement. Price did not break the previous monthly high on the week time frame. Price broke above previous weekly high on the day, 4 hour, and 1 hour time frame. Price broke above previous daily high on the 4 hour, 1 hour time frame. So price broke above all these daily highs, the weekly high. Um, but price did not. But price at that time, price didn't break the monthly on the weekly time frame. But as you can see, price broke the monthly high and continued to buy, right? So we're going to delete all this, the monthly and all that. And then I want to make sure I don't have any other drawing. Do I have any other drawings? No. All right, so we're gonna unmark this. All right. We're going to unmark this. And if you're bored, then I don't know. This is fun to me. So I don't know. But anyway, we're going to remark everything because for this month we had a nice little buying going on. And you should have ate off of all these buys. You feel me? But this little pullback do tell us something. It's significant, it's grand, and we should listen to it. So I'm gonna leave the markets there, but everything else was going. Let me take that away, these away, that away. We're starting over because it's a new month. And we could have ate off the last few weeks of this, but it has some other obligations, so that's fine with me. I need that break. All right. Oh, so let's go back to the month time frame. Let's delete all of that. Let's find this month candle, and we're going to work off the previous candle. So, this is this month's candle, April. This is last month candle. So we're going to work off last month's candle. All right, whatever. All right, then we're going to delete all that. Okay. Let's do this. So we're not going to turn it green. We're going to make it red. So we're going to work off the monthly open. It's the monthly close, my bad. The previous monthly close, previous monthly open. Excuse me. All right. And then I'm going to move this back over there. Wait. I'm trying to get this candle. I'm going to move this back. I guess it won't want to move. Well, I'll put it back. I was trying to get that candle, so I know what candle is on. All right. I'm just going to have to move this out the way. That we can see it. Boom. I'll turn it red. And then going to do it again. And that don't have a low. So cool. It don't have a low. So let's mark this. Previous monthly high. Previous monthly low. My phone is on a charger too, so we ain't listen to no music right now. We in our bag. And then previous monthly. It was supposed to be closed. This, I mean, the open. This is the close because we don't have a low. Open from the bottom when you're buying. So you got the previous monthly open, previous monthly close, and the previous monthly high. All right, so now let's work off the week. So this is April 7th, March 31st. So that's the week that we're working off of. Right now, pricing broke the previous monthly high, so we still in the game. We're gonna mark this as orange. And then you're gonna boom. Clone. Boom. And there's no low on this one either. So it's only a high, open, and close. And we're gonna turn it orange. Yeah, boy. All right, let's get it. So previous monthly open. No, weekly, sorry. Sorry. Trying to get this. Okay. Previous weekly open. Previous weekly close. Again, this is how I look at it. You probably got a whole different strategy, but you got to ask yourself, how effective is my strategy? Previous weekly high. All right. So we have a previous weekly high. We have a previous weekly open and a previous weekly close, right? Price is not below the previous weekly open. Price is not below the previous monthly, right? What's the previous monthly close? Put it on over. Slide it on over. Slide that on over. All right, so price got the previous, what we had? Previous weekly high, previous monthly high, previous monthly close, previous monthly open. All right, so price haven't broke above the high. There's no low. Price haven't broken below the close yet. So we're gonna go into the day, and then we're gonna mark the day. So it's not today. It's April 8th. We're doing yesterday, and there is a low. So let's do let's do a blue again. There's no high for this one, so that's the previous monthly open. We're gonna bring it in just a little bit. Wait. Yeah, there's no wick up there. Now we're going down to the previous daily close and then the wick. Now we have a previous daily low. All right. Turn it blue. And we in that thing. We're gonna mark it. Previous daily low. And if I find something, we're gonna get in it. We got the previous daily close. And then we have the previous daily open. All right. So let's drop time frames, see what we got. Price broke below the previous daily close. Also broke below the previous weekly open. Okay, so it's giving us some sell momentum. Okay, all right. Could be looking at a reversal. No, 4 hour, 1 hour. But price has not broken the previous daily low yet. So it could definitely reject this previous monthly close area. It can bounce off, boom, and then come back up to the previous open, previous daily close, previous weekly open. Even though this definitely giving me selling pressure because okay, um, this nice little trend I see. Yeah, it was a nice little trend about here. Then it kind of broke that. So yeah, yeah, it's a nice little trend. because you can actually pull this trend back to, nope, you can put it back to here. So it's one, two, and then when price touched it the third time, it broke it. So I want to see price break below the previous daily low. Um, it is below the pivot points, so that's a good indication. But I wanted to get out of the zone that is in, which is uh below. I mean, in the previous monthly close. So once it broke below the previous monthly close, previous daily low, I would look to sell down to the previous monthly open, honestly. But I'll give me a nice little 3 to 1. So this could be something we look at too. It's not quite ready, but it could be something you get into. Um, Now, if you want to pre-jump it, you can put a sell loss here, enter in down here, and sell. But I'm be looking for that candle. So previous, looking for price to break below previous daily low for sale, because it can bounce back up here, go above the previous daily close, go above the previous weekly open, and then hit this trend line, bounce, 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 and then sell. So um this is the expectation for this. Price broke this trend line on, well, it's like, it's a nice little trend line, a daily time frame too. Hold on, I'm trying to see something. Yeah, I would like to, because it's buying, but it wants you to think it's selling. I would like to wait for this month, because if it does break this previous daily low, then it's a great indication to sell. Like, boom, we're selling. So I'll wait on the previous daily low, because that's what's giving me um what I need. So I'm gonna wait on the previous daily low there, and then we'll get into the sale. But other than that, I'm not looking to sell this at this moment. I'm just totally looking at what they're doing right now. Because it still currently is buying. There's no change in the structure, so this breakup structure is still happening. Um, it looks like it changed the character, but in order for this character right here to actually break, I wanted to solidify below this previous monthly close and previous daily low. So um, that's me personally of what I see. And again, this volume is giving me some selling pressure. So I would like to just see what the market does for time being. So we'll watch that trade. Let's get into GBP, JPY, and then JPY USD, and then we out of here. Um, for the news, so I can speed this up a little bit. GBP, GBP, JPY for news. Today, GBP had yellow folders and red folders, and then JPY had yellow and red folders. So maybe a little iffy. Like if GBP was all good and then JPY was all iffy, then I'll look at it. But yeah, I don't really like it. So let's see what it did. Um, all right, let's look at the notes for this trade. Um, all right, price broke previous weekly high, and price broke previous monthly high, but not previous daily high. Overall, we're waiting for price to break the previous daily high to buy or previous daily close to sell. Um, on March 25th, I said I do not like this trade, even though the setup is nice. It can be a trap. Let's see what happened for this week. As you see, we was able to eat off of this trade, right? 3 times. And then price did not break the previous daily high, and it pulled all the way back down to this previous monthly low. All right, so that's why it's important to wait for price to break the previous daily high or the previous daily close. Now, if we had waited and we were attentively looking at the market, we would have been able to eat off of this sale when price broke the previous daily low. Um, here actually previous daily high, previous open, previous wait, what? This is part of it. Hold on. Previous daily open, previous daily close, previous daily high. Price didn't break it, but it did break below. It pulled back into the previous daily open, and then it broke it, so we could have sold to the previous daily, previous weekly close if we wanted to, and then price pulled all the way back to the previous monthly close, broke that, and then pulled all the way back into the previous weekly low. All right, where the previous monthly low is. So this was a hard pullback, right? Once price broke out of this sale, boom. Broke out of this sale into this buy. It pulled back harshly to retest that previous monthly low. Um, so let's go to this month time frame. Yeah. So that's what it kind of looked like, right? So I did not like what GBP, JPY had going on. So we can just delete all this and then just look at it for what it has going on. When GBP, JPY has a nice setup, go for it. When it don't, I just like to wait and see what my trades are going to do. So where my brush at? Let's do this. Well, I thought I'd find, I don't know. Anyway, get to these a little closer. So we're going to delete these because this month is over. So price pulled all the way back to the previous monthly low, but it did not break the previous monthly low. So we still could definitely be in this buy. It was just a really harsh pullback, like a really, really deep pullback. All right. So moving to the next trade for JPY USD. JPY was yellow and red for the folders, and then USD is always crappy. Not going to cap. Give it. Oh, all right, almost there. I can definitely erase the whole thing, but it's certain lines I want to keep. I want to keep that trend line right there. All right, so we're working off the month candlesticks and time frame itself. This was at some point in time a previous monthly open, so I'm going to delete that too. And then we're going to delete the notes, and boom. So we got the pivot points, we got the notes. Um, wait, let me actually go all the way back. What is this? Ah, okay. I was like, what is this? All right. So that we don't have to worry about that. All right. So let me get a little closer and um you, I mean you kind of are, babe. What's up? Hey, I'm like in the middle of a session then. All right. All right. So this is for the month. See, I like how that month turned out. Now you can see this month, but you can barely see last month. I don't really like it. So ah, I don't like that month. And all right, so yeah, I don't I like it, but I don't. I'm trying to figure if I want to waste my time. I guess I really don't because of how this week is. But we can entertain it. Uh let's go. Let's see if how close I can get to this chart because I really hate this chart. All right, so we're gonna mark these indications by line. And um, I'm trying to focus on this. All right, so we're just gonna go by lines because I feel like if I do the since we're on the month, I'm gonna go by lines, horizontal lines. So this is be the closing, opening, um, high, a second. Okay, so hopefully, um, all right, so where was I? Um, previous monthly high, previous monthly low, previous monthly open, I mean close, and then the previous monthly open. All right, I'm going to the week. The week is definitely below, but this broke below the previous monthly low. Uh, uh, so we're working off of this candle for the week. So that took a turn. Previous, which I'm sorry that it's taking a little longer, but this part of it, I don't want to get frustrated with myself. That would be the previous. Actually, I can do those with these. Okay, that would be the open. Then we have the close, and then oh, we have the high. Turn that blue, and then we have the low. All right. Previous weekly high is there. Previous week low is here. Previous weekly open, and then the previous weekly close. All right. This will be the close because we're selling. This is selling candlestick, and this is the open. All right. And so price broke below the previous weekly low. Price broke below the previous monthly low. And now the last candle we have to go is the day. We're working off of this daily candlestick because today's the 8th. So we're working off of this candle. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so this color is going to be purple. Well, let's do a different purple. And then this will be the opening. Go drag that down to the close. All right. Let me actually drag this over so you can see it. Drag that over so you can see it. Market previous daily open, previous daily close, and that's will be purple. Previous daily low. And there's no high on this point. So we have that all marked up. And let's see what the price is at. So on the 4 hour, price has not broken the previous daily yet. But it did come back into the previous daily close and then revisit it down to that low. So yeah, we're close to the previous day low, but we have not broken it yet. Um, as you can see, at one point in time, we were buying, but because the monthly low is broken, the weekly low is broken. Um, let me see the pivot points. Pivot points has changed. I think this not only has changed the structure of the market, but also the character of the market. Um, yeah, I think we're going into a nice sale because it breaking these levels here. Yeah, but if price do break the previous day low, if give you that clear sell that we're looking for, and then under the pivot points, yeah, it give us that clear sell I was looking for. So again, um, if it don't break the previous day low, that was just a harsh pullback, and price gonna break into um back into the upside. So um, price broke previous monthly low, previous weekly low, but not the previous daily low. We're not below the price is not price. God dang. 1 second. All right. So price is not below the pivot point yet on the week time frame. Price is below pivot points on the daily though. So we want price to break below the previous daily low to make sure this thing is selling. Because right now you got a nice push to the upside, right? You had a nice push to the upside, and then this would be the low currently. And we hadn't even got to that low, but price is making higher lows followed by a higher high. Um, where's my little stick thing? Here. So you have this higher high, and then price made a higher low with another low, right? This would be the low high, and this one is higher. So it's nothing like breaking this lower for it to change. All right, so this would be the I would say like a major resistance and support level. So this would be a major support level here, or about in this zone here. So if price break that daily, I'm looking price to at least go down to this zone here and then breaking that to continue to push into this sale. If not, it can go back up to the previous high. Um, previous open. I don't think it was a daily high, but it was a daily low. So there's no daily high, but it go back to the previous daily open, pushing into the previous weekly close, previous weekly open, up to the previous weekly high to test this previous monthly high. And it just indicate that the buy is still going. So I need something to tell me that this sale is happening. It's a lot of things going, even though it hasn't broke no major level. Um, it only stopped breaking structure at this moment. It has not broke character. So far as I'm concerned, uh, I'm not going to trade this. I would definitely watch it. But if price break below the previous daily low, we can look into something of a sale. But because I don't really like the way news is doing, I'm not going to trade it. So that's just my point of view. If you like this, you can trade it. If not, I'm going to go to the last trade and then I'm going to move on. I will be doing cryptos a little bit, not today, but I will drop it soon. And so be on the lookout for that. Let's get it. All right, but last but not least, the most hated trade that I don't like. But we've been watching this trade. This is my guy Eric trade. We have JPY USD. We was looking at it selling, and then it made a turn because it was breaking structure, breaking structure, breaking structure, and then it stopped breaking structure, and then it changed character. So it went from a sell to a buy. So we literally watched this and ate from this. Eric called this call way down here, and we ate from this. So this is a nice buy to the upside, no cap. Um, price has broken above the previous monthly high, and price has also broken above the previous weekly high. So you know it broke above the previous daily high. So we're gonna delete all those markings, and then I'm going to go off of the new candle. So, and this is the last one. So stay with me. Um, honestly, this is for my sake, my documentation for excuse me, purposes. This is how I trade. Um, I don't know how you do it. And nope. Sometimes I don't make anything. Sometimes I'm just on my demo. Sometimes I'm not confident. Like it's a lot of things. But I'm here to tell you that you can do it. So this is how I look at it. If I don't make sense to you, look at your strategy. What makes sense to you? And if it's something in this strategy that I showed you that you like, then you just take that with you and you leave the rest. Like you don't have to take every little thing that I show you. Um, by the way, that was a profit trade, and you don't have to switch every little thing about yourself because somebody is telling you something different about their trade. What makes sense to you? How you like it? What you don't like? What you do like? Like it goes without saying. So boom. Now that we are all cleared and ready to go, we're looking at the month candle. We're going to look at the previous month candle, not the month candle that we're on. And then we're going to go into it. So first thing you do is look at the candle. All right. Me personally, I'm looking for buys. So this is the previous month candle right here. We're going to mark up off this candle and that candle only as we drop down to the time frames. And I've done this for the past hour. So if you haven't gotten it by now, and the past videos. So if you haven't got it by now, I don't know how to explain it, but definitely hit me up on my social media and the email below. We could talk about it. I want to talk about it. If I don't make sense to you, well, I don't make sense to you. All right. Boom. Boom. Wait a minute. Yep. And this is the low. This is the high. All right. So you have the previous monthly open, open low, and then when we buy low, sell high, and then the previous monthly close will be at the top. Then we have the previous monthly low, and then last but least, we have the previous monthly high. And then what we do from there, we're gonna drop down the candle. So, oh, that was the weekly I just drew up. So, let's just change it to the week. My bad. Wasn't paying that attention. So just switch everything around. Previous weekly low, previous weekly, previous monthly, previous close. Okay, and let me go back to my one because I was on the week. So that's the week. This the month we going off of. This is the high. It's probably price. I don't know. It didn't. Nope, not green. Let's do orange. That's the high. There's no low. And then we go orange. This is the that is the opening. This is the close. And that's the high. And then let me drag this over. All right. Previous monthly open. The previous monthly close. That's the previous monthly high. All right. Stretch this out. Let's stretch that out. All right. So for the previous monthly high, price broke above the previous. Wait, what's this? The weekly. It has not broke above the previous weekly. Oh, the previous weekly don't have it. It has a low, but it don't have a high, but it broke above the previous weekly close. And did not break the previous monthly high yet. So we got the weekly, we have the monthly. Now it's time to get the daily. This is the daily right here. So we're gonna focus on that candle. Bear with me. This is the last trade, so stay with me. All right, we're gonna change this to blue. Let's adjust it a little bit. All right, so this is the open. This is the close. All right. And then, oh, this is the high. Let me drag it down a little bit. And this is the close. All right. So let's label this previous daily high, previous daily low, previous daily open, and then the previous daily close. All right. So let's see what price does once we drop down the time frames. Okay, so it broke above the previous daily close. And we drop down to an hour. Okay, so we're looking for price to either break the previous daily low or the previous daily high. I'm looking at price actually going to break the daily high. Um, this is I think the monthly low that we was looking at. That's the monthly high. And the price will break above the monthly high. Yeah. So you can go into the daily high. Mm, I don't know. You can probably take that trade. It'll be an idea. I don't like it, but it'll be an idea. Since it broke into the previous daily close, you want to enter this candle here. We'll go here. Put it below the previous daily close, or there. Actually, put it below the monthly close, and then um, I'm gonna get it right. All right, bet. So this is the close here. I'll put it below this candle. This is JPY, so it ain't gonna act too crazy. And then this is a 1 and 3. You don't want to do a 1 and 3. Okay. Yeah. And just in case you do a week, I'll pull it back a little bit and then do like yeah, something like that. Because it is buying. I do like where this is going. So that could be a trade. And you trade all the way to the daily high. But this can do multiple things. So this will be like something you can watch, but I only want to trade once price break above this daily high. Then I'll trade. Or price break below the daily low. And then I'll trade. But I'll put that for educational purpose so you can watch it. You know, daily high, price break above daily high. Boom. Um, if there's no daily, oh, here's a low. If price break below the daily low, then boom, we can go all the way down to the weekly open and monthly. So they'll just this right here be training purposes. So we have NAS 100, we have GP, JPY, we have gold, GBP, JPY, gold, GBP, GBP, JPY, gold, JPY, USD, and NAS 100. Same thing with this one. If you want to get into that one early, after they break the daily close all the way down to the low, that's you. I'm gonna wait till it reach the low, boom, and then look for an opportunity to get in. But if you want to get in before then, since we're back into this low, you can wait for price to get here. Um, no, wait, that'll be a short position. As if you want. This is not what I would do. Price we get here. You can go here, and then you can put your sellouts there, or you can put your sellouts about there, and then a 3 to 1, about right there. And I'll let that stay there for trading purposes. I'm not going to uh belief purposes. I'm not trading this. I haven't found anything I wanted to trade. So that's just an idea if you want to get in. But I'm going to wait until price break below the previous daily low and then sell. or price break above the previous or my daily high. Oh, it's no daily high, my previous daily open, and then buy if I need to. So I'm going more for the sale so I can wait. But I will look at this tomorrow and see what it's doing. And if I see an entry to get in, to get in. But I'm getting in on the previous daily low. I'm not getting in here. But you can do as you please. And I'm actually going to put that notation right there. And we out of here. Left out of here. Let me put the little quotation thing. Where is it? Where are you? I don't know where it go. Yeah, clever. Oh, I'm going to comment. And I'm going to put it right here. Yep. Wait. Uh, I am waiting on price to break the previous daily low. Um, all right. Where did that go? Oh, there you go. All right. So just so you know, it's not a trade that I am going to take. You can take it if you like, if that's an early risky entry, but I'm going to trade once price break below the previous daily low. That's what's inside my trading plan. So I'm glad we caught up from last week. I would drop the marking the chart analysis for the week of the, excuse me, 20, I want to say the 21st or the 25th through the 30th or something like that. And then the 31st through the, or the 20, whenever it is, but the 31st through the 4th, I did not record. So we're picking up for this new month and we're going strong. So we just marked everything for the new month. I was look at everything for everything going tomorrow and Thursday, and then we can do a recap of that and after that. But all right, that's all I got for today. Thank you. And that was a time right there. Okay. So you have to step away. Sometimes you gotta like reevaluate yourself, believe back in yourself, try to get some momentum going. And it happens whether you're a pro trader, whether you're a beginner, or whether you're just trying to figure it out. So while you're trying to figure it out, keep your emotion balanced. Try to be a good person. You know, you're battling with your career, you're battling with life. As you get older, you're battling with those things. And if you have children, you're battling with those things. If you're married, you're battling with those things. And then you're battling with doubt, self-confidence, um, confidence if you have any at all. And on top of all that, just trying to find out where you fit in life, where your purpose can't be a lot. So at some point in time, if you're looking to invest into anything, crypto, Forex, stocks, whatever, you're trying to learn this chart, at some point in time, you're going to say, Forex is stupid. Well, that's because you think that stocks is Forex and Forex is stocks and cryptos is stocks. You think all of it go together. And then you think one don't, if you don't think that way, you think one don't have anything to do with the other. And then you're totally lost. And then you think it's just trade crypto because Trump bought, have all these things called crypto coin, Doji coin. Like you think all these things. And if you don't know how any of this connect, you don't really know how to read the market, to look at it, you're just buying it because the market it says it is low and that's what people are saying. You are lost in the sauce and that's why it's stupid. So tap in with me, grow with me, learn with me, and if you like anything, just press that button. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, and I see you next time on yeah.